Today, we're going to dive into one of the most intense stories from Indian mythology. Seriously, it's a story that takes the ideas of truth, duty, and sacrifice and pushes them to their absolute breaking point. This is the legend of a king whose promise was, quite literally, unbreakable. So at the center of all this is King Harishchandra of Ayodhya. Now, this guy wasn't your average ruler. His whole identity, the very core of who he was his absolute commitment to his word. In his kingdom, truth wasn't just a nice idea. It was the law, and he was its living embodiment. So picture this. You've got this perfect kingdom. It's thriving, it's peaceful, everyone's happy, all thanks to this incredibly virtuous king. Well, his reputation for honesty gets so famous that it actually reaches the heavens, and the gods themselves start to get a little curious. They're thinking, can anyone really be this devoted to the truth? And so, the gods cook up a plan. They go to the powerful and famously short-tempered sage Vishwamitra, and they give him a mission. Test King Harishchandra, find his breaking point, see if that legendary virtue is really as solid as everyone says. The stage is officially set for an impossible trial. This test kicks off a chain reaction, where a single promise, made in a split second, completely unravels the king's entire life. You know the setup. It's that one faithful moment that changes absolutely everything. What's crazy is just how fast this all happens. 1 minute the king is out hunting in the forest. The next he hears a scream, rushes in to help, and accidentally bursts into Vishwamitra's ashram, completely shattering his deep meditation. The sage is of course furious. And in a desperate move to calm him down, Harishchandra makes this unbelievable offer. He donates his entire kingdom to Vishwamitra. Just like that, it's all gone. You'd think giving away your whole kingdom would be enough, right? But nope, Vishwamitra is just getting started. After taking the kingdom, he then demands a dakshina, a ritual fee for the donation. And this is the twisted genius of the test. See, the thing about dakshina is that it's not optional. It's a sacred debt, an obligation you absolutely cannot walk away from. For a man like Harishchandra, who is defined by his duty, refusing to pay is unthinkable, even though he literally doesn't have a single coin to his name anymore. And here we are at the core of the problem. The king has given away his kingdom, his riches, everything, but he still owes this debt. How in the world is he supposed to pay it? This question is what forces him and his family out of the palace and down a path of unbelievable suffering. Okay, this is where the story gets truly harrowing. To keep his word, Harishchandra is about to pay a price that goes way beyond money or land. He's about to be stripped of every single thing that makes him who he is. His status, his freedom, and yes, even his family. I mean, just look at this descent. First, the kingdom's gone. Then, to get the money for the dakshina, he does the unthinkable. He sells his wife Shaivya and his son Rohitashva. And when even that isn't enough, he sells himself into slavery to an undertaker at a cremation ground. Can you even imagine that fall? From a beloved king to a bonded laborer? Just when you think things can't possibly get any worse, the test finds a new, more cruel level. His young son, Rohitashva, is bitten by a snake and he dies. This is just the absolute bottom, the deepest pit of despair, and it's all designed to see if he will finally break. This, right here, sets up the final, most impossible challenge. Down at the cremation ground, Harishchandra's grief as a father is about to slam head-on into the duty he swore as a slave. His wife, Shaivya, shows up with their son's body, but she has no money for the cremation tax. And Harishchandra, bound by his duty to his master, has to demand the fee from his own wife. Absolutely devastated, she tells him that all she has left in the entire world is the cloth she's wearing. And he, to fill his duty, has to accept it as payment. It's in this exact moment of ultimate sacrifice, a husband forced to strip the last bit of dignity from his grieving wife to do his job, that the whole divine test comes to a spectacular end. The real reason behind all this unimaginable pain is about to be revealed. So as Shaivya moves to tear her sari, the heavens basically open up. The gods appear in a flash of brilliant light. The undertaker he works for reveals his true form. He's actually Yama, the god of death. The test is finally over, and in an incredible act of grace, their son, Rohitashva, is brought back to life. Just look at the scale of this. On one side, you have total loss, absolute despair, and on the other, The reward isn't just getting his family and kingdom back, it's about proving to the entire cosmos that his virtue was, in fact, the real deal. He passed the impossible test.
But the story isn't quite done, because the real takeaway, the thing that cements Harishchandra's legacy for all time, comes from one final act.
Indra, the king of the gods, offers Harishchandra and his family the ultimate prize, a spot in heaven. But Harishchandra says no. He refuses to go unless his subjects, the very people who loved and trusted him, can come with him. Now this part is just incredible. Vishnu explains that heaven doesn't really work like that. Everyone gets in on their own merits. So Harishchandra makes one last mind-blowing offer. He'll give all the merit, all the good karma he just earned through all that suffering to his people, and in return he will take on their sins. This act of pure compassion just blows the gods away. And that's really why this story sticks with us. It started as a test of truthfulness, but it uncovered so much more. It's a powerful lesson in duty, generosity, compassion, and a willingness to sacrifice everything for what you believe in. In the end, his greatest truth wasn't just his word, it was his character. So this whole incredible story leaves us with a pretty big question. In a world that's full of compromises, what's the one promise in your own life that you would hold on to no matter what it cost you? What's your unbreakable truth?